In today's clip, I'm going to show you how to approach, in a high-pressure situation, two girls in a restaurant and how to make it happen conversationally and what you guys should be doing step by step if you want to replicate this. So let's roll the clip and then we'll break it down.
Do you speak English? I saw you downstairs. It was a bit awkward, but I thought you looked very nice. So I wanted to say hello. How do you say in Polish? Are you Polish? Cześć. Nice to meet you, James from London. What's her name? Do you have any recommendations? So I'm here for like 2 weeks, but I haven't been for 3 years. So we want like a cool bar, cool cocktail bar, something like this.
What kind of food? Maybe?
So like last time I came, I enjoy going to Sen and C'est La Vie, but you know this clubs, C'est La Vie and Sen. You know this place? They're like high-end club, but now we want like cool cocktail bar, like where you have like a nice cocktail and it's kind of like dark and smoky, this kind of vibe. Cocktail bar. You say the same in Polish, right? Yeah. The translation. Are you a student or are you working? You look. I'm trying to work out your age. You have like an ageless face. I can't tell if you're like 13 or 35. Maybe 90. How old are you? I'm like, is she underage? Like I'm just 23. Oh, this is good age. Okay. And what do you do for work?
So first point is, I've just come out of the house, first approach of the day. First one, as the great Mr. Tom Terreri used to say, the first one is the worst one. You're always going to walk out the house feeling a bit socially stifled, feeling a bit socially stagnant. Doesn't matter how many years you've been doing this for. Momentum is a very real thing. You have to just throw yourself in. That's how you warm up and that's how you desensitize, right? And it resets every fucking day. It's just how it is, right? Over time, gradually your anxiety gets less and less and less. But the reality is you're always going to come out and you're always going to be a bit stagnant. So walking along the street, the one rule I recommend guys to have for themselves is the first girl you see, just take the action. Saw two girls in a bit of a high pressure situation. They were at the back of a busy restaurant but on the outside. But what I believe is guys need to build that social freedom muscle. One of the best ways to do this is twofold. First of all, go around your everyday life being as social as possible the whole time with everyone. Always take any opportunity to banter, tease, say that extra thing, test for interest. Always be flirting, always be playful with the world. That's A, to develop more social freedom. B is always take the shots as soon as you leave the house. Take the action whenever you can, right? Because the longer you leave, the more it's going to stagnate and have this internal pressure in you not to approach.
You're like the hot secretary. The boss hired you because you're like the hot secretary. And what type of industry is it? What type of business? Data center. You don't look like a typical. Yeah, I imagine like very geeky. Like, okay. Well, another time if you're free, let's go for a drink. Not today. I'm here for 2 weeks. So I send you a message, and if you want to come and join me for a drink, we go for a drink. Really?
Yes.
Are you going to marry him?
No.
What? You're not going to marry him? Why are you with him then? What are you doing? I know Poland is a very traditional society. You must have the wedding with the pierogi and the Zubrowka vodka and all this stuff. How long have you been dating him? 5 years? And you know you're not going to marry him?
Not yet.
But you're getting old. You're basically babushka. 23 is old. You are young. I'm only joking. Why don't we do this? I shoot you one message, or you take my Instagram, and if you want to come for a drink, send me a message. Yeah, you take my Instagram, and then there's no pressure. James and the Giant Peach Travels. How good is your English? I type. It's very long.
Okay, thank you.
Nice to meet you.
And the third thing is, if you could approach a more pressured situation as your first few approaches of the day, after that, approaching one girl is not a big deal at all, right? But if you're putting off these type of approaches, you build negative momentum. So I just walked out of the hotel with the cameraman, I think with another coach or a client, and I saw these two girls, one of them was cute, in the back of the restaurant. It's a socially more high pressure situation, but I knew in the back of my brain by doing it, after that, approaching a single girl is not going to be a big deal. It was a bit of a car crash, it was a bit clunky, I was leaning over the railings, which isn't a great look to be honest us, but they were quite far back. I didn't want to go in, so I had to kind of like lean over and actually hear what they're saying. The conversations, me having fun, I'm being self-amusing, I'm not taking it too seriously. I work out quite early on that she's probably not that receptive, but I just stay in to warm myself up. So don't be afraid to do that as well. Like just because she's basically unavailable, or you think, right, you know, it's just not clicking. Don't be afraid if you're feeling a bit unsocial to stay in there and keep going with it to warm yourself up and push that boundary, that barrier internally, because then when you approach other women, it's going to be way easier. So it's almost that ability to riff in the moment, be self-amusing, be playful. It's a bit like improv, but the audience, instead of being a load of drunk guys in a bar, is hot girls, right? So in the end, nothing came of it, but I kept the conversation going. There were eyes on me. The spotlight effect was very real. People were watching what I was doing. People were listening. I think it was a Sunday. It was quite quiet on the rest of the street. Doesn't matter though. It's all good. I went away from that conversation, warmed up, my state had changed, and then I went out and had a good session. Key takeaway, if you're watching this, is the ability just to keep speaking. Do it from a position of self-abusement, playful, having fun. Don't be attached to outcome. It's not a big deal. Just practice makes perfect. Hey guys, we got a brand spanking new community, loads of new resources, loads of the old content, loads of new content, loads of fucking cool shit on there, and it's all for free. And if you want us to help you with your current situation, figure out where you're at, where you want to go, and the most painless and effective way possible to get from A to B, depending on what A to B is, book a call on the link below and we'll be in touch. It's also completely free of charge. Sayonara.